Hello and welcome to the Car Diaries and another episode, and today we have a rather exclusive Porsche behind us here. So we have the 992 Targa 4S Heritage Edition, a very special car, finished in the absolutely stunning cherry metallic paintwork. So without further ado, let's take a look around this and see what's it all about. So the 992 Targa 4S, let's go back in time to the 1950s and the Porsche 356, then transform into the 1960s, the 1970s and the 1980s. So this car basically paying tribute to cars of the past. So lots of really nice little touches on it, little fine details. So we're going to talk you through exactly what these are and what differentiates this car from a standard 992 Targa 4S. So the Heritage Edition is available in 5 colours, this one obviously being the cherry metallic, which looks absolutely stunning. Very deep dark red, which when the sunlight hits it just really pops like a cherry. Alternatively, you've also got PTS colours available. So basically, Matt's laughing behind the camera. So you can basically specify whatever colour you want. So let's go through some of the little details which I love. So for example, the badge on the front and indeed on the steering wheel and indeed on your wheel centre caps is actually a Heritage 1963 badge. So when you look at the small details of it, same badge as used in the cars back in the 1960s. Really nice, older Porsche style logo. Just a really nice subtle little touch, which you wouldn't notice unless you went looking for it. We've obviously then got the white graphics as well, with the number 53 on the side. So the owner of this car picked that number, so you can essentially pick whatever number you wish, and yeah, basically have that reflected on the side of the car, which is nice. The Porsche graphics along the lower side skirt, and when we flip the car around, I'll show you some of the nice details on the rear. Now moving down to the wheels, traditional 5-spoke wheels done in a gloss black diamond turned finish, which looks absolutely stunning. Black brake calipers, which would typically suggest standard brakes in the car. However, with Porsche now, you can actually specify black carbon ceramics. So these are indeed carbon ceramics on this particular example. We've also got the Sport Design Pack, which is an additional option on top of the standard Heritage Pack. But I'll talk you through what that does mostly in the rear of the car. But it changes basically the front apron on the car and then the rear number plate placement and the rear lower bumper section. So without further ado, let's take a look at the most important thing on this car, which is indeed that Targa top. So I've got the beautiful cherry metallic painted key with matching leather key holder matched to the interior. And literally with pressing a button on the key here, we can pop the roof up and just listen to the silence of this. This is Porsche engineering at its finest. Literally no noise, smooth transition, and just like that, the Targa top is in place. Rather impressive. Windows up, car locked, amazing. So what we'll do now is take a little look at some of the details on the side of the car and then move around to the rear. So note the Targa badging. That is finished in gold, as is the Targa 4S badging on the rear, as is also the Porsche logo on the rear. That rear apron, as I mentioned earlier, is part of the Sport Design Pack. So basically it gives you the sports exhaust system, which has been specified as well, which is the sort of GT2 RS style tips, which sit a little bit higher than the standard pack on the car, and also it changes the number plate placement as well. So the number plate sits a bit higher instead of right down the bottom of the bumper. Personally, I don't like the car without the Sport Design Pack, so I would always specify it with that. We've obviously got the rear wing up in action as well, and then when we come round, we have the Porsche Heritage badging, which I absolutely love, just on the rear engine cover here. We've also got the smoke tail lamps, obviously the full length tail lamp as well, because it's a 4, and we've then got the sports exhaust finish in a gloss black finish, which I think looks absolutely tremendous. So without further ado, let's take a look at this very, very special interior. So stepping inside and we're greeted with a stunning interior. Black leather upper dashboard with Atacama beige corduroy inserts in the centre of the seats with beige leather outer section in the seats, which looks absolutely stunning. The corduroy beautiful and soft, and yeah, obviously paying homage to cars of the past. Even small details like the floor mats, so it's got the heritage style floor mats, which I wish you could feel them in a YouTube video, but just feel proper old school and really, really nicely put together. We've also got the 911 Targa 4S Heritage Design Edition sill plaque, finished in aluminium. We've got the 911 badging in gold on the passenger side of the dashboard, which signifies which of the 992 examples this particular car is. So this one looking here is number 535. So again, really nice touch, the fact that they're all individually numbered as well. That doesn't happen often in cars nowadays. We've then got the full 992 style dashboard, which again, absolutely stunning. Lots of optimization and things you can play around with on there, which we'll show you once we're in the car. But I think without further ado, let's get behind the wheel of this thing and see how it performs on the roads on such a fine, fine day. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the interior of this very, very special car. So we've got 440 horses coming from that 3-litre twin turbocharged flat 6. Now, the most important figure for me is the torque figure, so 530 newton meters of torque from 2300 RPM, so lots of low end grunt, and the induction noise this thing makes is nothing short of sensational. But what's it like being behind the wheel? Well, first of all, you've this beautiful leather steering wheel. It's got the 1963 Porsche crest right in front of you, paying homage to Porsches of the past. We've then got the perforated headlining finished in beige also, which again, really, really nice. It just makes you feel you're in an older school Porsche. And it's the same when you pop the roof up. Even the headrests here, the backrests, they're also finished with the traditional 1963 Porsche crest. So it's just all these little nice touches which really makes this car stand out from the crowd. But most importantly, let's see what this thing's like to drive. So we're currently in normal mode. Of course, we have the 8-speed PDK transmission, which is absolutely seamless, dual clutch system. One of the best systems on the market as far as I'm concerned in terms of modern day gearboxes. So what we're going to do now is switch it up into Sport Plus, and then we're going to put it into manual mode so that I'm in control with the paddles, and we'll see what this low end torque is like. So once we come over this bridge, let's open this up. It's just so effortless. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise here, but I mean, it corners beautifully, perfectly composed, beautiful weight distribution. Obviously this being a 4S as well, it's splitting the power output between front and rear. Now it is primarily rear, but it does switch to the front if you're under full boost as well, which is nice. And it's pretty much 50-50 at that point. A little underpass here. Oh, what a noise. Porsche have done a fantastic job of really making this car sound special. There's nice little burbles, which again, we'll try and pick up as best we can on camera, but really, really nice little pops and bangs. Last week we had the new BMW M4 competition out, which obviously similarly a 3-litre twin turbocharged engine, and the noise of that versus the noise of this, it's like night and day. This thing just sounds unbelievable. It's just so flat in the corners. You can obviously adjust the dampers as well, so we've got 2 chassis modes, which are normal and sport, so you stiffen up your dampers to decrease body roll, allow you to corner with greater pace. We've got 5 different drive modes, so we've got wet, normal, sport, sport plus, and then individual, which you can obviously customise to your individual requirements. But at the moment we're in sport plus, rear wing up, sports exhaust on, and just enjoying some top-down motoring in 24 degrees heat today here in Glasgow. It's just such a special car. All we've seen all day as well is people smiling when they look at this thing. Oh, what a fantastic, fantastic car. I think the colour in this thing, I don't know if we'll be able to show you the colour in the video the way it actually looks in the light here, but when you see it in the metal with the sun hitting it, the amount of older people that have walked by, we've just bumped into a lovely gentleman there from Portugal who spent about 10 minutes chatting to us about how much he loves Porsche as a brand and how special this car looks. So it's just, you know, it's one of these cars that would just be a real pleasure to own, because there's very few people criticising or moaning or, you know, giving you dirty looks. It just seems to create real positive attention, which, yeah, really just adds to the experience. So on a day like today when you're wearing jeans and it is this warm, My one criticism is, albeit I love it, the corduroy seats, if they kind of put some ventilated cooling seats in, that would have been nice, because I am sweating my off, excuse the language, today in this. But I do love them, and they're so soft, they're really comfortable, they're really supportive. This car has the 18-way fully electrically adjustable seats, which means you can get the car seating position in the exact correct position for you, which I always think is very, very important. Now, in terms of the Carrera 4S, which we'll put a link to that previous video, this feels somewhat quicker, and it isn't, obviously, because, you know, it's the same power output. But I think it's just, as soon as you take that top off with this Targa version, it just changes the experience completely. I've always been a massive Targa fan, and it's just such a beautiful looking car, particularly when you see it in a sunny day like today. And yeah, having that miles of headroom above you just really adds to the experience. And obviously got a lot more noise in the cabin from the engine, the exhaust note, and yeah, it's just, for me, oh, I don't know if you can hear these noises this thing's making, probably not, but the induction noise when you lift it off is ridiculous. Ah, whoa, right, I need to stop playing around and behave. But yeah, it's just a really, really special place to be. Obviously, going back in time, Targa is, you know, throughout Porsche's heritage, hence why they made this edition. But it's just very different to the Cabriolet. There's a lot less of wind buffeting and things like that, with the fact you've obviously got a big proper window behind you as opposed to a windbreaker. Feels very different to the Speedster as well that we obviously had out. Speedster are obviously naturally aspirated. Yeah, Speedster sounds far better, but this car for me is, yeah, probably just as special, to be honest with you, but in a different way. Feels far more usable. That noise, wow, incredible. So yeah, far more usable, and just a car that you could really, to be honest with you, be in every day, perfectly comfortable, nice and easy to park. It's got all the toys, it's got front and rear parking cameras, it's got front and rear sensors, you know, it's got night vision, which I don't know when you would use that, to be fair. It's probably a bit gimmicky, but cool thing to have nevertheless. So yeah, plenty of toys in here, the digital dash, but with the traditional rev counter in the centre, I absolutely love. And it's done in a sort of almost sort of fluorescent sort of green colour, which again, just a little bit different, and yeah, it just makes it feel that bit more special. So I guess one point that's worth mentioning is the price difference between the Heritage and a normal Targa 4S. And the difference in price is, and I hope you're sitting down for this, £26,918. Now that is a hell of a lot of money, there is no doubt about that. So some may argue, you know, do a couple of little sort of exterior and interior touches justify 27 grand uplift? Well, it's a tricky one. I mean, there's obviously only 992 of these cars built, so it is a limited production run. Porsche being Porsche, I think it probably will hold its money pretty well. And yeah, you know what? If you're a collector of Porsches and you want something a bit different with a bit more character, then yeah, why not? And money's made for one thing, isn't it? And that's spending, so why not? Now, as I was mentioning about the Carrera 4S Coupe, this does feel quicker, but it's actually 110 kilograms heavier. 110 kilograms, that's a hell of a lot of weight, but it really doesn't feel it. And the car carries it, like, it carries it very well. To be honest with you, if you're really pushing on into twisties, you will feel that extra weight a little bit, but it's not overly noticeable. And yeah, I don't think it would put you off in any way, shape or form. And for me personally, I would much rather pay a bit more to have a Targa and be able to have a top off like this in this weather, because nothing really beats that as far as I'm concerned. So in conclusion, the Heritage, it might be a Marmite car for some. Personally, I love it, and as I say, money's made for one thing, and that's spending. So if you can afford something like this, then why not? So thanks very much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you in our next video, which will hopefully, fingers crossed, if Porsche can get it out to us, will feature the new 992 GT3. So if we've got that, that's going to be quite something. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications, give the video a like, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.